Welcome to Secular Soup. Stay tuned for real talk about atheism, feminism, politics, parenting, and whatever the fuck else Amy and Amy want to talk about, because this is their show. And get ready for a whole lot of motherfucking profanity.
Want to hear a secret?
I won't tell anybody. Go ahead. If I sit next to you, I'm going to get gonorrhea. It's going to jump into me. Just two ladies hanging out.
Is it okay for me to make fun of his neck waddle if I make fun of my own neck waddle?
I'm not sure.
That's a real ethical conundrum.
Would you know if you were born a lizard person, or can you be like adopted into the...
I think you know.
We're such professionals.
We really are.
Buckle up, bitches. It's time to have some soup.
Okay, here's the thing. I have no idea how to fade that out. Amy has gotten experience learning how to fade that out. I don't know. So I just cut it short right there. I'm Amy with a Y, and this is...
Sarah with an H.
Perfect. See, you get our branding. Amy with an I took the night off to probably do heroin or something. I don't even know. I don't care. We're not really friends. People think we are, but... This is purely a business arrangement. We do not talk unless we're doing this show. We actually really fucking hate each other. So
it shows, honestly.
I know it does. So anyway, oh my God, Sarah, I didn't zip up this dress.
That is what you get for not showing me the back of your clothes before we start.
I was in such a hurry that I was just like, fuck, I gotta put my clothes on and put my earrings on. And I didn't actually zip this fucking dress up. So I'm gonna just go ahead and do that right now.
Okay.
You know why? Because I'm fucking professional. So Sarah, there we go. Sarah is a friend of the pod who, if you are a Puzzle in a Thunderstorm fan, which I feel like we have a ton of crossover here, you will know Sarah as admin of some of those fan groups and just general all around wonderful person sorting out fights and
all they heard was admin of Puzzle in a Thunderstorm. Every one of your patrons has left.
And they just left. They're all gone now.
Bitch. No.
Well, I think Tim is a patron. Tim Robertson.
Tim can't possibly hate me. At least you have one patron who will stay.
Tim's great. He really likes you. I feel like Dell's still gonna stay. Dell's a patron.
There you go.
Probably Ocean. Ocean really well. Wait, Ocean was a patron, not anymore. Rich might hang around, but not after the number you're gonna give him later, because
I forgot it. I'm pretty sure it's 2.
Makeup and I'm pretty sure it's not 2, Sarah. No, don't give him that much credit. Don't let him win. You can't do that.
I don't want to lose your patrons.
Yeah,
I'm trying to save your podcast.
We'll get more. We're delightful. So we were going to talk tonight about, this is something that Sarah and I have talked about a lot, but that you've talked about on your Facebook page, which is being demi-romantic, demisexual, a term that I had not heard, frankly, until like July of this year. And then once I heard it and started just learning more about it, I was like, oh, that sounds like me.
Yeah, it explains so much.
It really does. When you start thinking, it's kind of like the whole ADHD thing where you get diagnosed with ADHD and you're like, oh, shit. Now I understand why I do all of the shit that I do. It's kind of the same thing for this. So I thought I would just let you give us a little primer as to what that is and what it means, and just kind of pretend like the people listening have no idea what's going on, because they probably don't. We don't have the smartest listeners.
Okay.
So yeah, you go ahead.
All right. So within, all the different spectrum of orientations that one can have within the LGBTQIA, 2+ rainbow there, the A stands for asexual, aromantic, agender even I've seen it as.
Okay.
But particularly, we're focusing in on the asexual spectrum. It's its own little spectrum. So it's called like ASPEC or ASPEC, stands for asexual spectrum. And there's a lot of different identifiers within it, from like totally like there's sex repulsed asexuals. You know, being asexual in general just means that you don't experience sexual attraction. Being aromantic means you don't experience romantic attraction. And since those are the two big ones that we really focus on usually, like those are the only ones I've heard of. There are other types of attraction besides sexual and romantic, but we don't really label all of them so much.
Nobody cares about those. Anyway.
Aromantic and asexual. But there's like gray sexuals who experience sexual attraction extremely rarely. And demisexual is kind of like around there-ish. It basically means no sexual attraction occurs. You don't experience it unless you have a strong, let's call it a bond, or strong friendship, or strong like whatever already.
Or just some kind of connection, maybe?
With that person, yeah.
Okay.
So then you might experience sexual attraction to that person, but without it, doesn't exist. So like, I cannot tell you the number of times that I have talked about this on my page, to have people be like, isn't everybody like that? I mean, and it's like, no, not everybody is like that.
Yeah,
so
no,
let me explain how my experience of sexuality might differ from a lot of other people, because I feel like once you kind of hear my story, people's eyes get really wide and they're like, oh, that's different than I thought. So I have had sex with one human being on this planet.
That blew my goddamn mind when I heard that. I have had more than that.
Yeah, that's okay. We're all different. But for me, I called myself like a serial monogamist when I was first like getting into the dating world, because I would just basically like have friends, and then eventually I would start to like one of my friends, and then we would just be in a relationship. There was no dating. I've never once been on a date.
Okay.
And this is all when I was like a young teen, because I started dating my husband when I was 19 years old.
Wow.
So like my first boyfriend at, I don't know, 15 or 16, we dated for a year. Did not have sex with that guy. My next boyfriend, who was like 7 years older than I was, but it's not as creepy as you'd think. We dated for 2.5 years, and I left him a virgin. He was 7 years older than me. We dated 2.5 years, and I left him a virgin. Which he was fine with. There was never an issue between us. He did start
that surprises me.
They started to get cranky about it towards the very end, but like I had already, the bond was already broken at that point. I did not respect him, and I definitely wasn't feeling any kind of attraction to him. But with each of these guys, something was missing. Something was lacking in their basic fundamental like character that just made them not quite right, you know? And so the attraction never developed. And so I always told myself, like, if I don't actively want to have sex, I'm not going to.
Well, yeah.
And then I started dating Zane, who I later married. And within like we were in college at the time, and we were in separate cities. So we had to be online for a little bit. But once we finally got to see each other and spend some time together, like coming into the spring and summertime, it was like 2 weeks and we had sex.
Oh, wow.
And it's because
What?
to me, it was like simultaneously,
Yeah.
no big deal. I did not care about it.
Yeah.
But also like, I don't know, not no big deal in that I'm just gonna do it with like somebody I don't want to.
Right.
So
But it didn't feel weird or I don't know.
I was just like, this is the right one.
Yeah. Well,
So we've been together 16 years and
that is admirable.
I don't experience attraction to other people. Like we'll be in chat groups that are like talking about celebrity crushes or how hot this guy is or that guy. And I'm just like, that just doesn't exist for me.
But do you feel like, I mean, can you look at somebody and find them attractive, even if there's not that sexual aspect of it? Like, do you?
So yeah, like I said, there's different types of attraction. You absolutely can look at somebody and find them aesthetically pleasing. Right. That's an aesthetic attraction. Without having any romantic or sexual interest in that person whatsoever. Like, I do not want you, like, I don't want to touch you. I don't want you to touch me. I don't want to be close to you. I don't want anything. Sure. But it's very easy. Just like, you know, any art or anything that you find aesthetically pleasing. People are often very aesthetically pleasing. Just like dogs are aesthetically pleasing and cats are aesthetically pleasing. Like,
I mean, cats more so, but I'll die on that hill.
Well, I just lost my dog, so I have a special.
I'm sorry.
It was very sad.
Yeah.
But I do love cats. Cats just make me so happy.
Yeah.
Your cats make me so happy.
My cats are angry with me.
Why? What did you do?
Just like everybody else in my house.
Monster.
I turned everybody's life upside down.
So. Cats are mad, huh?
Kinda, yeah. They just... I mean, to be fair, I don't pay enough attention to them, so that could be part of it.
Well,
but yeah.
Anyway, so being demisexual will impact a person's life in a variety of different ways, and a lot of demi people will kind of like force themselves to have sex that they don't want to be having.
See, I feel like I never, well, setting aside my entire first relationship, which was abusive and terrible when I was a teenager. So kind of ignoring that. Not that you should ignore it, but I don't consider that part of, I don't know, I guess who I found attractive, or that was more of a situation where, oh, somebody's paying attention to me for the first time ever. So I'm just going to stick with that no matter what's happening. But I feel like most of the guys were people that I really wasn't attracted to at first. Like, just kind of were friends, or one of them straight up did not even like him, thought he was just kind of a jerk, find him attractive. But kind of as time went on and getting to know them, and with one of them actually writing letters, old-timey style. So like writing actual handwritten letters to each other. That sort of built over time, I feel like, until there was that attraction. And, you know, one of my long-term relationships was a friend. It was a friend who was actually an ex of my best friend, which, as I'm finding out, seems way more common in small towns than you would think, because the dating pool is not wide. So if you have friends who you have things in common with, you're probably going to have things in common with their partners or their exes, because there aren't that fucking many of us, basically. But it was somebody that I never really thought of in that way. Like, I didn't see romantically, wasn't attracted to. But we had known each other for a long time, and in my head, I was able to, you know, he had approached me first about, it's a long story, I'm not telling here, but basically he had approached me first about, like, you know, I think I might be in love with you. And I kind of, in my brain, went from like, oh, you know what? Me too. Like, It was the weirdest. It happened pretty quickly. And from there on out, I mean, it was a attraction, like romantic attraction, sexual attraction. And just thinking back on that, I'm like, that seems weird that it wasn't people that I actively pursued. But I do also feel like, especially in my 20s, we would go out to the bar and pick up guys because that's what you did back in the day. There was no internet dating. You got drunk and went to the bar and picked dudes up. But I would see guys that I was attracted to. But yeah, it wasn't, I don't know. It's something I've tried to sort out in my head for months now and tried to just think about and be like, what makes sense given my history and my pattern? And
well, like I said, it's a spectrum. And sexual attraction. I want my hands on the screen. Sexual attraction.
It's the ADHD.
And romantic attraction are separate.
Yeah.
You could have one be a little different spot on the spectrum than the other.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
and also we're all just kind of finding ourselves. Sometimes people have to try a variety of things, especially when they're young, to find out what works for them. What do I like? A lot of times people will just do what their friends are doing to see, what's my experience of that going to be like?
Well, I look back at when I was younger, my early 20s especially, and I try to separate out in my head, how much of what I did was just craving attention in general and just validation and feeling like I was attractive and desirable and all of that stuff. And how much of it was stuff that I did because I genuinely wanted to.
Yeah. There is a sexuality.
It was a long time ago. It's hard to
There's a sexuality that's you become attracted to a person once you learn that they are attracted to you or something like that. The labels, the micro labels, to get really, really specific. Yeah. But it's because it can help you find other people who share your experience.
Right. And it's helpful to be able to talk to people like that. I hear people all the time talk about how, why does everybody have to have a label? And we have too many labels. And I get it. I get that we shouldn't have to put ourselves into boxes and we shouldn't have to label ourselves. But at the same time, it's really helpful to find people who experience life in the same way you do.
That's exactly what it's for. It's to find community that shares your experience. Exactly. It's not about being look how oppressed I am. I have 5 labels. And it's not about I don't know, gotta catch them all, collecting as many as you can.
And I feel like it's like that also with ADHD or autism or any other mental illness stuff. You find
ADHD
people,
and autism have
so connected.
They're a spectrum. They have multiple different types within them, just like being asexual or anything else that's a spectrum. It helps you understand more about yourself. It helps you know more about your own brain. Once I started understanding what demisexuality was, a lot about me made more sense. Things that I just always thought, I thought that I was just broken in some way.
I'm going to be real professional for a second here.
Sure.
Makeup. Go ahead. No.
And in understanding more about ADHD, I feel like they're really intertwined also. I feel like my ADHD has contributed to a real attention to detail, which I think influences how my sexuality works and how my everything works. And I've often said I'm not just demisexual and demi-romantic. I am demi everything. Everything. I am demi about everything. For instance, there's one true peanut butter. Okay. If I'm going to go to a grocery store and I have to choose a peanut butter, you better believe I'm going to sit there in front of that peanut butter and I'm going to evaluate each and every single jar of peanut butter. I'm going to look at their labels. I'm going to what vibe do I get off of this jar? I'm going to look at their ingredients. You have 1 gram more of sugar than the other one. Does that make you more delicious or less delicious? I can't even tell. But I will get a peanut butter. I'll be you are an experiment peanut butter. and I'll try this peanut butter. And if it doesn't like meet a really high threshold, I will never eat that peanut butter again. It will sit unused in my cabinet, and that is where it will live forever. That used to be my dog's peanut butter. I used to like put her pills in that. Like, oh, your reject peanut butter. My dog will like you though.
See, I already know that I only like one peanut butter.
One peanut butter, right?
I found the one I like, and that's the one I will eat.
Peanut butter, when they or there's like an outbreak of whatever thing it is that makes your peanut butter go away, then you have to find a new peanut butter that doesn't suck. And you know what? It comes from a different store that you've never been to, and you have to evaluate all their peanut butter. The worst.
The overthinking is like, oh my God. When I go to stores or even restaurants, like when Dell and I went out to eat the other night, I'm looking at the menu going, there are too many options for me. Like, you cannot give me this many options.
Yes.
And expect me to make a reasonable decision in a reasonable amount of time, because I have terrible FOMO. Just I'm sure I'm going to miss out on something amazing. So I have to sit and just like weigh all of the options and be
make
like
a pro con list.
Right. Like, what if, I think this restaurant had hot turkey sandwiches, which are one of my all-time favorite things. But it's really dependent on the restaurant. Some restaurants do it really well and some don't. And I'd never been to this one before. I don't know what kind of turkey they're using. Are they using thin sliced deli meat? Are they using slabs of actual turkey? I have no fucking idea. I don't trust the waitress, to tell the truth about it.
They don't
not even tell the truth. Just, they don't know if they haven't had it. And it can be subjective when I say, is it deli meat? That can be totally subjective. Like, to me, thin sliced is different than thin sliced to somebody else. So then I'm like, okay, cool. There's a Reuben. I could have that. I haven't had that forever. But if the corned beef isn't sliced to the thickness that I prefer, then that'll ruin the whole meal. But they also have this other thing that I never find anywhere. Like, my head is a constant buzzing hive of like.
It is why I frequently get two different entrees, or like if they've got an appetizer that's very similar to an entree that I'm curious about, like that appetizer with this entree. But my husband is just used to it now. He's so nice. He will often get something that he knows like I'm curious about, so that I can try both, because I have to try both.
That's it. Like, I want to try new things, but what if I get it and I don't like it? And then I'm mad that I didn't get the thing that I know I like.
And eventually at your restaurants that you frequent, you will find the one true food, the one true thing that you order, and you will order it every time. That's I know that I love this food. It is why I come to your restaurant.
Yeah, my friends and I go to this specific restaurant in town just for the walleye. Which, have you ever had walleye?
No.
See, I'm finding out people outside of Minnesota don't experience walleye. Like, that is it's just Minnesota as fuck. Like, everybody has a walleye, and you've tried all the different kinds, and there's different ways that it is prepared.
I hear that word, and I think it's a fish. Is it
a fish? Yeah.
Oh, I got it right.
It is it's a fish. It's the best fish. Okay. Thank you. It's a white fish. So is it one
of those fish that like gets replaced with other fish a lot, though, like an imposter fish? Have you heard about imposter fish?
No.
How do you not know about imposter fish?
I have a lady brain. I don't pay attention to science.
Fish, when it's cooked and it comes to you, kind of like all white fish looks the same pretty much.
Oh yeah. So no, I don't think that's the case here.
Because it would be hilarious if you thought it was walleye that you love so much, but it was really an imposter fish. Like they sell a much more common and cheaper fish and tell people that it's some fancier, nicer fish and sell it for lots more.
You can tell what walleye tastes like. Okay. Like it's got a specific flavor. I would know if I was not eating walleye.
Because I would laugh and laugh if it was imposter fish.
No, walleye is something that you catch it fresh around here. So there's a lot of walleye fishermen. And my God, if you know somebody who catches it fresh and can like beer batter deep fry it for you the day they caught it, it is the best food you've ever eaten in your entire life. Like, I die for fresh beer battered walleye. It is so fucking good. But there's a lot of restaurants that screw it up. It's just not good. But there's a restaurant in town that makes the best fucking walleye I've ever had. And I've tried a lot of different walleye at a lot of different places. This place, the seasoning, the breading, the amount of butter, like it's just... And so I have these two friends, and every time we go out to eat, we go to that restaurant and we all get the walleye, and that's what we do. And it's to the point where if I go to that restaurant with somebody else, I can't get the walleye because I feel like I'm cheating on my friends.
Oh no.
So that's when I try the other foods. They also have a really good, like, fancy grilled cheese that's different types of gourmet cheeses that is delicious that I enjoy. But truly, like, I'll go there with somebody else, like Leslie, our friend Leslie. We'll go out to eat there, and I'm like, I can't get the walleye. Like, I feel bad. I feel like I'm cheating on my other two friends because our thing is the walleye. We're going out next Saturday to get the walleye.
You are a much nicer friend than me, because when that's me taking a fish with the walleye, being like, hey, look what I got.
I know. Like, my other friends do it. I don't know what's wrong with me. But at the same time,
because you're too nice.
I know. I justify it in my head as like, I really should try some of the other food here because they do have amazing food. So this will be my opportunity, because there's no fucking way I'm going to not eat the walleye when I'm with my other two friends. Like, that's the thing, you know, and it's a small town. So we know all the waiters. One of the waiters, one of our good friends. Small towns are weird. But yeah,
so if you cheated on your friends, the waitress would like rat you out for sure. Would like,
oh, for sure,
tell your friends group, guess what she got when she was here with somebody else.
It's not even that. It's that I know. Like, I'm not religious, but that is my conscience telling me it's not okay to eat this special fish that you and your friends eat. It's so good. And inevitably, every restaurant I go to now, I'm disappointed in their fucking walleye because we've talked about, like, we should go on a road trip around the state and just try the walleye at different restaurants and see if we can find a better one.
Oh,
but
no.
yes, exactly. We'd be so sad because there was one night that we went there and there was a different chef. And oh my fucking God, did that dude mess up the walleye, and it ruined our entire night. And of course, it's another friend that owns the restaurant. So we were like messaging, what the fuck is up with the walleye? It's terrible. Like, it's not even the right breading. What happened?
Oh my God.
We're so sad. Like, it turned out the regular chef was doing an event that night or something, or a wedding, and wasn't there. And we got complimentary walleye the next time that we came in to make up for the bad walleye the first night. So
good.
I thought I would let you know that Erin has messaged me and is alive. So
good job, Erin.
You'll be happy. That's another thing we were going to talk about was
this is my other wife. I need her to survive her dates.
And Sarah and I are going to get married. We are a throuple. And one day we are going to live together in harmonic bliss. Erin will make all of the grilled cheese sandwiches. Right. I will contribute nothing but being delightful. Sarah will contribute all his advice and information. That's the good eyeshadow techniques, I think. I cannot wait for this to happen. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing.
The
and
other thing we were going to
decorator for sure. Like, look at my decoration skills.
Do you see
look
behind
at your decoration
me
skills?
Mm-hmm. Look at this room that is decorated like I am Marie Antoinette. It is my favorite thing ever.
I love your aesthetic. I love your taste. You are decorating everything.
It's a work in progress. It is not. It is ridiculously feminine. I just love it so much. But the other thing we were going to talk about was how scary it is to be dating when you're a woman in general. But I have all these friends who are in their 40s who are trying to date again. And like, we have to send each other screenshots of, here is this person, here is the paper trail that led to them, here is their phone number, here is their address, here is everything I know about them. Please check in with me at this time and use a code word to make sure it's me and not somebody pretending to be. Like, there's all these safeguards in place that we don't think twice about as friends of each other. Like, that's just what you do. And it makes me wonder if men realize the lengths that we go to make sure that we are taking care of our friends and that we are looking out for them and that we just don't fucking get murdered. Like it's
that's
scary out there.
That's what a lived experience is, though. Until they live it, they really can't understand the anxiety that comes with it. Even for those of us who are not on the date, the perpetual anxiety. We might be joking in the chat, but
only half joking.
Each and every one of us, is simultaneously like, it's funny because it's true.
Yeah, like
you're legitimately waiting to hear from the other person.
Oh yeah, we are making sure that like we know where they are, where they went, where their date is. We have a backup plan for like, call me at this time so that if the date is going badly, I can make up an excuse, because God forbid you make men feel bad. So you have to have a plan in place for bailing on the date that won't involve making them feel bad, even though the reason you're probably bailing on the date is they did something to scare you or to give you kind of a weird, feeling in the pit of your stomach, or to be fair, maybe you just don't like them. They turn out not to be what you thought they were going to be. But you have to think of that ahead of time.
You do. You have to be ready for if the vibe changes, if things you didn't pick up on before suddenly like come to bear. Like you have to be ready to receive new information about that person that is suddenly like turns a yes to a no. And you have to have an escape route like preloaded, ready to go. And you're right. It has to be an escape route that is plausible and soothing and like is going to let you get out of there.
Doesn't alarm anybody.
Because if you're bailing, it's because that person feels unsafe a lot of times. So that's not a person that you can afford to
upset,
antagonize. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if these two friends, well, Aaron won't care, but I don't know if the other friend wants me to mention who they are. But I basically got here's what I want you to do. Check on me at this time. If I don't answer my text, try calling me. If I don't answer my phone, try messaging me here. If I don't answer that, call the police. Like that is the set plan for what to do if I do not answer these calls. Aaron had sent me a thing where it was like, hey, I'm still alive, and then sent us a secret nickname that only we know. Just in case it was somebody who picked up the phone and was like, hey, it's Aaron, I'm safe. And it wasn't shit like that you're thinking about. That is just, I feel like when men are going on dates, they're probably thinking, what should I wear that this chick is going to like? I don't know. I wear? Like, that's it.
I'm sure there's a lot of different types of anxieties for men, but it just doesn't involve.
But I don't think it involves, is this woman going to murder? Is there a chance this woman is going to murder me? Not that we've all seen Gone Girl, or at least I have. So sure, it could happen, but this is a real part of women's lives if you are going on a date, your friends all need to know.
Yeah. Do not forget to check in with us.
No, we will call the fucking cops.
All of us in the chat group are like, hey, have you heard from so-and-so? Hey, I haven't heard from so-and-so.
I will drive the fuck out to that restaurant. I will talk to I will be a detective.
Yep. Don't forget to check in with us.
Yeah, one of my friends was like, so if anything happens, go feed my dog and feed my cat. And just like this grim stuff that's like, that's a reality. Like if something were to happen, here's what I need you to do. You have my mom's phone number. That is who you need to call. Like just to go on dates. Like
it's not somebody that you know. It's not somebody from your friend group. It's not somebody you have like external ties or connections to. They could be anyone. They could just not be who they say they are.
Right.
And there are for sure predators, in that pool. And you just don't know who they are.
That's not even like a new development. It's not like with the internet this started happening. Like we had to do this before the internet. We had to come up with plans before going on dates that involved what's a reasonable amount of time for me to check in and let you know if I'm okay or not. Here's where we're going on this date. Here's what time we're going. Here's this guy's name. Here's his phone number. Like that was kind of the least that you would do pre-internet.
See the upside of only dating people from your friend group.
True. Like, but you never know. They could turn out to be murderers too, Sarah.
I mean, when you know somebody from the time that they're 15 years old, you have a pretty good sense
They're
of whether
playing
or not
the
they're a
long con at that point.
Are your dogs and cats still alive? You're probably okay.
Be smarter than that. The long con, they have invented parents. You met their parents, but those weren't their parents. They hired actors to play their parents.
They enrolled themselves in my high school.
Yep, that's what I would do. I'm just saying. Anyway, so yeah, it's rough out there for women, is what I'm saying. And I mean, at least with the internet, there's a paper trail, like probably a bigger paper trail than there used to be. So
I have a light and I changed its light, so I adjusted it.
No, my lighting is just garbage right now. I
was thinking it looks really nice. I like the color contrast because you've got a lot of like a kind of a white crisp light, and then there's like a little yellow behind you. And I was like, what if I push this button? Click.
Well, I'll tell you the secret. So the lamps behind me have smart bulbs in them, and I have them set to candlelight.
You brilliant.
So that's what you got to do. You got to have.
I'm ADHD distracting. I have smart bulbs.
That never happens to me, Sarah. I don't get distracted while I'm podcasting.
We're the A and the H in ADHD. We are in the market for 2 more Ds.
Oh, you know what? Here's a topic that I have been thinking about. I keep thinking I should put this in the ADHD group, but it's something I've mulled over with Leslie, at least. Some of the friends I have, all my friends have ADHD at this point.
We run in packs.
We really do. Like I can spot my people at this point.
I can too. And I'm like,
when I meet you within 5 minutes of meeting you, I will know if you have ADHD, and we will be best friends for the rest of our lives. I'll just make that happen. We're friends now. You have no say in it. So something,
and actually autism too.
Absolutely.
We overlap so much.
There's so many shared traits.
I discovered over the past year that ADHD and autism just go together really well. Like we make really good friends. We bond really well. We balance each other out really well.
It's just
obviously it's like atypical. I'm generalizing, but I feel like the neurodivergent community in general, I find a lot of people that I can really connect with and understand and appreciate and enjoy. I love our community so much. I
agree. And like, it's, again, that's where labels come in handy. Like,
they do.
And it's interesting to me my younger son has both. So one of the things I love about Dell and talking to Dell is just that Dell has ADHD and is autistic. And so just listening to them kind of run through, here's how my brain works, helps me so much, like understand what's going on in my child's brain, which helps me empathize with him more. Like, oh, okay, this is why he's doing the things he's doing or saying the things he's saying. Like, because I have ADHD, but there's a whole, with autism, a lot of times you're very scheduled and structured and you need things to be the same all the time. And I am the opposite of that. Like, I need things never to be the same. I need things to change. I need to constantly be I don't know. I get bored very, very quickly. Whereas my son has a little bit of that. He's like, he made me take everything down in his room because he wants to redecorate again, but doesn't know what he wants to redecorate with. But then also has the very rigid, like, I go to bed at this time every night and I need to do these things. This is my routine. And I don't know. It's fascinating. But I was going somewhere with that and I don't remember what. I know what it was. So when you are dating, this is something I've talked to my therapist about. My therapist also has ADHD, which is fantastic because she was going to become an ADHD coach.
Mm-hmm.
But because she has ADHD, she never finished the training, which was the funniest thing I ever heard in my whole life.
Love to hear it.
I was asking her about it. I'm like, do you think I should get like an ADHD coach? Like, because I feel like right now, from a therapy standpoint, that is my biggest problem. Like, my ADHD is just so fucking out of control. I can't do the things I need to do because I'm a squirrel. I'm like, oh, I need to redecorate this and do that. And, she was like, yeah, I mean, it's probably a good idea. I don't really know any. I was going to be one, but I also have ADHD. So I never finished taking the classes, which is just peak ADHD, is getting excited about a thing. You're going to do it. And then you just never quite finish it. Because you know what? There's other shit to do. You get bored. The dopamine runs out, and you find another shiny thing that you want to pay attention to. So you do that.
Honestly, I lean into it. I support that. I feel like
lately I have been. I'm just like, you know what?
I feel like we always
me now.
We always we always feel like we're supposed to be so down on ourselves when we don't finish things, and when we've got like our pile of 80,000 crafts that we've been doing, but. I support us in this. Like, we're going through the growth period and the learning period, the making mistakes period, and
we do a lot of interesting stuff. We're not boring people. Like,
and we go through the growing parts of so many different activities, and I totally support us quitting those activities when. We're done growing. Like when you plateau and you're like, oh, now I just have to make beautiful cross stitch pieces. Like,
well, that's something I've been trying to like be more accepting of the fact that I do that. And I've just been like, okay, I'm now bored with this thing. Should I keep doing it because I feel obligated?
Lean into it.
Or should I just be like, fuck it, I don't want to do it. Now I want to do this and then throw myself into the next thing. That's what I'm doing now. Like, this is the new me. The person that painted mugs is gone now. She's done with that.
She might come back.
She may at some point.
If we make ourselves do the thing until we hate it, she's not coming back.
No, like I've been doing a lot of that lately where it's like, I try to think, am I doing this thing because I genuinely want to do it? Or am I doing it because I feel obligated, like I should do it? And if it's a situation where I really have to, I'm just doing it because I feel like if I don't, I'm a failure of some kind, then fuck it, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so here's my question. Do you think it's better to find people who are also ADHD to date? Or is that worse because then both of you are a giant hot mess?
Okay.
I've been considering this a lot.
I trust my gut and I trust my instincts so much. So I don't feel like I need to actively seek out, a person with a specific whatever. I just trust that I'm going to know whether we click or not. And then I'm going to find out that they had ADHD later.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of where I'm at, is where it's like all these people that you connect with inevitably have ADHD, because that's why the communication flows so well, because we speak the same language,
But I'll also say, like, my husband does not have ADHD. We connected in a very different way. Like, we connected through fighting. We connected through insulting each other and being mean to each other, because I love that. Like we started out in a sword fighting group that he started, and he was like the evil dictator. Yeah, he was the evil dictator. Wow. And I was like the rebel leader who rounded up all of our friends who were like, fuck that guy. We just were like, take him down. So he started holding meetings of the leadership of the sword fighting group to plan in advance games and things that were going to like pass Sarah approval. And so like we had like a good frenemies thing going on for a long time. And then we went to college and we would forget that each other existed and then connect again over Messenger and forget each other existed and connect again. And each time we connected, it was just to insult each other. It was just like I'm such a fast typer. I can type so fast. And it's because you had to get those zingers in before he could type them. And I was a faster typer. I was a better speller, and I could kick his ass. And so one time, we traded insults for 9 hours straight through the night, and we couldn't quit. Because if one of us quit, that person was the loser. So we couldn't stop. We were like, I'm not gonna stop. We would like sometimes we talk about music or something. So we'd be like, oh my gosh, so tiring. But then we would start insulting each other again. And that is clearly the way to my heart.
I feel that as well, yes.
So he doesn't have ADHD, but he's got like some grit, some, stubbornness and staying power that you've got to have if you're going to have a neurodivergent friend or partner or whatever else.
Well, I feel like something I've talked to some of my ADHD friends about is just that, like, you inevitably need to find someone who is challenging to you, to your brain, like that.
I agree.
Just keeps you thinking and keeps you not being bored, because we easily, when you have ADHD, you get bored really quickly. And so if you don't have that kind of constant challenge and you're constantly having to think about things, you're just going to lose interest, because that's how it goes.
Think about us. I think we play. I think that so many ADHD people that I know, even like autistic people with or without ADHD, but just like a lot of neurodivergent people, we play. I mean, like we will make whole Facebook groups devoted to a joke, or we will have like whole chat groups devoted to a joke. We will have
like how Sarah eats Reese's the wrong way. I'm just saying.
I eat mine. Okay. But like we play. We will banter back and forth all the time for hours on end. If we're enjoying a joke, we are going to lean into it so hard.
This entire show is inside jokes.
It's like we never grew up. We're not like, I have responsibilities that I should be attending to. I'm going to go do the dishes instead of, trading jokes. No, we're going to ignore those dishes.
Sometimes I look at people who are just like, who act like actual adults. And I think that must just be a really boring life. Like, why not do all this stupid shit that I love to? Like, why not wear tiaras on your podcast, or
I would say
make TikToks of twirling in dresses, or like do all of those things that make you happy?
I'm a big fan of accepting people's differences. So for neurotypical people, I don't know if they really find that boring so much as they like a clean space and they like the result of doing that work. Whatever it happens to be, whatever it is that helps their executive function and they're able to do these things. I don't tell myself like, oh, you must have such a boring life. Like, I think
I do. I'll go out on that limb and be like, you're all boring. Put that on record. All of you listening, if you are neurotypical, you are fucking boring.
No one neurotypical is listening to your podcast.
That is very.
If you are listening to this podcast,
thing I've ever heard.
I've got news for you.
If you are listening to this podcast and you have not yet been diagnosed with ADHD or any sort of flavor of neurodiversity,
it's time to go do some reading.
Go get some assessments done. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna say though, fuck assessments of
really.
It's such a hard thing to get out here. So I'm in California, and I am new. I'm new to the system of like trying to get diagnosed. I don't know what to do or like where to go. And I've got that horrible thing where you have to like look up every single doctor and look at all of the reviews about that doctor and like try to get a vibe.
Sure you don't make the wrong decision.
Don't make the wrong decision because it sucks. Don't get the wrong peanut butter. So like you got to get a vibe from the person. You got to be like, from these people's words on the internet, what like saison do I have of you? Like,
Does their picture make you feel weird?
Yes,
Like, not
actually,
are they attractive, but do you get a vibe?
Picture.
Oh yeah.
But
I need to know based on their picture. Like, it's not, are they attractive or not? It's, what do I feel when I look at that?
I really
do they
genuinely
have kind eyes?
I need to weed down because I can tell right away if I'm not gonna like you or if I'm not gonna vibe with you.
Absolutely.
I can tell based on like what people have said about you, what their experience has been. And then like something about people's pictures, like I get a vibe and I'm never wrong. I trust my instincts so much. But I made a whole nice list of a ton of people who I thought were going to be great, who some of them had ADHD as their specializations. I was really looking for that. I call these people. I sent emails, multiple voice messages and emails. And do you know how hard that is for an ADHD person to come back and send multiple emails and voice messages? They don't call me back. They don't respond at all. It's like they don't have secretaries. They don't have anybody who's like managing their schedules or anything else. It's like they're like, I'm full. I don't have time for people. And so then they just don't communicate with anybody on the outside world ever. So I couldn't get anyone to call me back. So I finally, I found an organization that's like ADHD specialists. And I get through their phone tree and I get to a human being, and they have one psychiatrist who can prescribe meds. That person does not have any openings, so you will never see them. We have talk therapists, and to get an assessment, there is a computer program thingy you can do that's like only so, it's to test basically like how bored you get, how fast. But when you know that that's what it's testing, that can kind of mess with it. $300. If you want a psychologist to sit down with you and actually ask you the questions and talk to you and get the assessment that way, $2,500, and they do not accept insurance. You can submit it to your own insurance, but they want it out of pocket. And I went ahead and signed up for some talk therapy through them because this person did accept my insurance and it was $20. And I was like, let's give it a try because I haven't gotten through to anybody else. And she had no clue. She is like working for this organization. She's like affiliated with them. And she's like, what did they make you do to get assessed? And I was like, it's $2,500. And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah, really? So you know what I did? I went to my secular local mom group and I was like, help me find something. And all these ladies are just like, oh, here's a therapist that I love. And here's an app that I got diagnosed through with real doctors who just do a video call with you and then prescribe you meds. For like $10. And I'm like,
oh my God, nice.
How does Google not show me that stuff? How can I not find that through my insurance, like my whole list of doctors that I have to go to? No, just go to Facebook and find human beings who live in this area who already suffered. And
listen, that's why I fucking love Facebook. I know,
benefit from their experiences.
I know Facebook is evil. However, I have learned more shit on Facebook from people that, even with like, the whole dating app thing, you can see if there is a mutual connection and you can send that person a message and be like, hey, who is this? Who is this person? Should I be concerned? Is there anything going on? What can you tell me? And it's especially awesome when that person is a woman, because frankly, I just trust women more. I'm sorry, I just do.
I do too.
And they can be like, nope, here's, sometimes you'll get a, oh yeah, no, stay far away, which is helpful.
So valuable.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's a no, actually go for that. Like that could be good. That's
super valuable too.
Yeah. And you're not going to get that anywhere else. Like on other sites where you don't have connections. Connections are valuable.
People complain about social media and just like, maybe you're not using it right.
Whatever. Exactly. Like you're not, if you hate it, you have not properly cultivated a friends list. You have not figured out how to use privacy settings. You have not joined the correct groups. You have not participated in the right, like, social media.
Don't get in trouble.
Is amazing. I have met more cool people just through Facebook. Like, that's where I met Amy. I met Amy in the group the three of us are in. Like, that's how we became friends. I have so many online friends that I would consider every bit as real of friends as my in real life friends.
Yep.
And it frustrates the hell out of me when people are just like, social media is stupid. Even if, especially when they're not on it. They don't, like my mom, or just, it's okay. You saw something on Good Morning America that told you that social media is bad. You've never tried it, and therefore you think it's bad. I'm sorry. I've learned so much fucking shit on social media just from smart friends. Like, I surround myself with smart people.
But we know how to find the communities that work for us.
Yes, that's what you need to do, is find those people.
Finding not just the community, but like the subset within the community that's going to work for you.
Yeah, I've got a local group I'm in that I have, me personally, along with some other admins, have cultivated over years, and is the perfect place for, my car broke down. Who should I go to in town that I can trust?
Yep.
Looking for a babysitter, like, just literally anything. I need my nails done. Who's in here that does nails? And stuff like that is valuable. Like,
are you in any buy nothing groups?
No, I probably should be. I don't know if we have any
you
locally.
How are you not?
I mean, because I already run a thrift shop.
That's
and
kind of
don't
why, though.
pay
Like,
for anything ever.
I was going to say you can find things for your thrift shop. I guess that's not really the point of a buy nothing group.
Well, I mean, I'm in some local garage sale and free groups that will just give stuff away, and it's valuable. Honestly,
it's kind of the same thing.
It's pretty much the same thing. Yeah. For me, as a shop owner, like, I end up with shit that is going to have to go in the dumpster. There's no other option for me. And I can just put something on Facebook in a group, in a local group, and be like, hey, I have this shit sitting outside. Come and get it.
Yeah.
Somebody will come and get it. It keeps it out of the landfill. It gets somebody who can use it to be able to use it.
I love it.
Like, it's environmentally friendly. It's helpful to the people who need that particular thing.
So helpful.
Just having that kind of outreach is like amazing, because usually it's household stuff that I can't, it's saving everybody money. I don't have to pay to throw it away. You don't have to pay to get it. Like, and where else are you going to find that? Am I going to call my local paper and put an ad in the paper so that 2 weeks from now, somebody may to call me to make an appointment to pick up? No, I'm just going to be like, here's the thing. It is sitting outside my shop. Come and get it. If you can make it, great. If you can't, don't know what to tell you. It's one of the inventions of the 20th century. We had our old washer and dryer taken out of our house that way. Like, free washer and dryer, they work. One might need some repair, but you have to come get it. It's a money saving tool. It helps people.
But so, like, that's just like one of the myriad ways that you can use social media.
Well, like, I just look at my kids, who both of them are neurodivergent, and the friends they've been able to make just through online gaming, like through Discord, and as many scary things as you hear about it. Like, my older son has 3 they're even local friends that he's had since he was 14. He's 18 now. And he checks in with them every day. And he's the kind of kid that, if he did not have that, he would be at home interacting with nobody because of his anxiety disorder. So, I don't have a lot of patience for people who are just like, these damn kids on their social media and doing their gaming. And
the one valid thing that I can understand is like, for some people, it becomes too big of a time suck, and there's just a balancing that we have to do for our lives and decide how much time we want to spend. And some people just cannot stop being in, social media land. Like that.
Anything,
so it's like,
I feel like
it's like
you can be like that with TV. You can be like that with any hobby that you have.
I agree.
Sorry, my back is bleeding because I like to pick at my skin because I have all the skin cancer. And then I'm just like, oh shit, I think I'm bleeding. And then it's fine. My body's a mess. It is not a wonderland. It's full of skin cancer.
It can do both.
Anyway, so yeah, I feel like we've been at an hour and a half. Is there anything you want to talk about that we didn't talk about?
I didn't come prepared with topics because
I never do.
It was like just like a couple of hours before the show.
Notice.
Yeah, it was like, hey, can anybody fill in? And I was like, of course I can fill in.
I was excited because I'm like, I've been telling Amy forever, we need to get Sarah to come on the show, and it just usually doesn't work out. And
I mean, secret time, I'm only here because Amy is not here.
Because you had to show her up a little bit and you didn't want to have to interact with her. I get it. Like,
no,
I've been meaning to ask you.
Actually, it's true. I'm only here because Amy's not here. But
can you replace her and I'll kick her off the show and then you can be the new co-host.
Oh my God, could never
We
work.
both have the long dark hair, so I feel like we can match.
We match, but we would be in competition. Like, whose hair is doing the nicer thing today?
Who's got the danglier jewelry?
You're gonna win.
True. I have so much fucking jewelry. It's ridiculous. Yeah, Dell and I trade jewelry and outfits a lot. Dell was saying, I saw that you wore that outfit I gave you on the Drunkcast. Like, yup, sure did. It's amazing. Dell, another person I wouldn't know unless it were for social media, and who lives near me, like an hour away, but still, it's.
I mean, here I've got a topic we can talk about.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
As speaking about people that we met through online who became a big part of our lives. Mm-hmm. This past year, I had a really good, really close friend who I talked to you a lot about, and like we bonded so hard. It was like the tightest friendship I've ever had. Yeah. And it was online. Like, this is a person I met in a crafting group. And we ended up just like vibing so well. We talked all day, every day. And I mean, all day, every day from like 4:00 in the morning. Wow. Because, he lived in a gross time zone where it's like a 2-hour difference. And so it was like a normal time for him, but it was 4:00 in the morning, my time. But we ended up being really good support for one another, really good support for when we were going through hard times. He had a lot of relationship issues that I helped support him through. We did a lot of crafting together. So we did a lot of support as far as like each other's interests and hobbies. And like after, I don't know, 8 months of this, because we're both also aspec, so we're both in the asexual spectrum of things. There's a kind of really tight platonic relationship that's called the queer platonic relationship, QPR.
Which this is the first time I had heard of that too. So something I learned from you.
So we chose to put that label on what we already were. And I talked to Zane about it and let him know, like, this is a really important person in my life. Like, we have a really important relationship. And this is the label we're going to put on it. And this is what that means. But it's like, this person like is a partner of mine. It's a partnership. And so we were really committed and devoted. And then that friendship imploded, exploded, went terribly, terribly wrong. And he ended up blocking me on all platforms everywhere over entirely both like a misunderstanding, but also over the fact that he had all these horrible health problems, legitimately just like consuming his life. and he did not have a lot of time and space, and he kept trying to like talk and share and like keep me involved, but like it couldn't work. I could not fit into that space, and he's autistic and also has like a history of trauma and could not have the conversations that needed to be had to address those things. He instead got like overwhelmed, overloaded, and just like cut ties across the board. And like, I understand that now, but so yeah, online relationships can be wonderful. It can be a way to connect with somebody you could never connect with in real life. It can be a way to get to know people and shoot thoughts back and forth all the time. It can be a way to hold relationships, and it can also lead to a lot of pain and drama. But that's a nice little way of like adding the online relationships and some information about the asexual community. Queer platonic relationships are wonderful and amazing, and they can be so diverse. They can be so varied.
That's something I like. How common is that, would you say? How long has that term been around? Like how I had never heard it until I heard you talk about it.
I mean, these things kind of get born in chat rooms. These things get born in social media lands, and it takes a while for them to catch on. I feel like maybe 10 years this one's been around. But I only really started hearing about it over the past 2 years because it's gotten, more well-known. It's gotten bigger. But a queer platonic relationship can take the place of a marriage for two asexual people who don't want, maybe they don't want romance or sexuality to be part of the definition of their relationship. So they're partners in every respect, but they would rather have that title be placed on it. They can also just be like super duper best friends who are like so connected on that platonic level. Like our friendship was so intense and so close. But like he's aromantic and asexual, and I'm like Demi over here, tough. but
and so. I think there's one potential problem is that people just, even when they're not deceiving you and they're not trying to be different, people are different online than they are in person. Like they are. You can't help but be different because you're talking via text, right? You're not in front of somebody. You're not seeing their mannerisms. You're not seeing how they carry themselves. You're not seeing their facial expressions. Like there's so much that goes into that aspect of what makes us attracted to people or just enjoy people or really kind of click with them. And so it's something I've learned in the past year too, that it's just, you can really enjoy somebody online and not as much in real life, or vice versa. Like it's been weird to me how, like I said, even when none of these people are being deceptive, we're all being ourselves online, there's a different version of you that comes across when you're just interacting by typing things, and sending memes and sending pictures and doing that sort of thing, than if you're in a room with somebody across the table from them talking. Those are two completely different kinds of things. And I guess it's something to keep in mind, especially for people that are doing online dating and you're kind of, there's this thing where you're choosing people based on pictures and information. And again, none of that's inaccurate. Like it's all, even when it is accurate pictures and accurate information and that stuff, that's just not enough information a lot of times to go on. Are you going to click with that person? Because you're not in the same room. It can be totally different in person than it is online. Anyway, it's my little soapbox for the night. But this has been a fascinating conversation. I should probably read our patrons because I actually pulled them up this time.
Okay.
Right? It's crazy. So I think this time I'm going to read all the patrons, just do a quick because I'm always worried that I am missing people or that I haven't mentioned them or that they are new patrons. And I'm like, I'm so fucking bad at this. So I'm going to go through a list of
They
all of
want
our
their
patrons.
recognition. This is what they pay for.
They're giving us money. Like, I feel like I should mention them. So let's see. We have got Nathan, who has been a longtime patron, is at the lobster bisque level. Took me to see Frozen last year.
Ooh.
So fucking great. F. Michael Haney was in it. God, I love F. Michael Haney. Anyway.
Hi, Nathan.
Hello, Nathan. We've got Heather Goff. We've got Jason Brooks. We've got Don Ford, voice of fantasy and adventure. We've got Cameron Jackson, Stephen Rubino, Utah Outcast. I need to contact X again and be like, can I be on your show now that I stay up until like 1 a.m? I can chill with you guys on Saturday nights. I don't have a life. This Saturday I'm having walleye, so then I could come home, hang out on Utah Outcast. Anyway, I'll later. Sana, or I swear to God, it's been so many years and I cannot pronounce your name correctly. You've told me more than once, and I still can't do it. Our wonderful Finnish friend, Renee, Brentley, April. April's just amazing and all over the place and at all the conventions. And I know someday we'll meet April and I will be
April
delighted. Yeah, it is.
April Paul.
Hello, April. April is there are certain like patrons and fans in the podcast sphere that just kind of everybody knows because they're all over our communities and all over Facebook, and April is one of them. And I've never met April, but I fucking love April. So Caroline, Katie, Paul, Cowbell, otherwise known as Dell.
Okay.
Yes, Dell is Cowbell. Sarah Fish, Randall Nelson Peterman, Life in the Left Lane podcast, my friend Andy, who, oh shit, that's what I had a bunch of people send us ideas for show topics, and I was like, read them. I forgot.
We ignored them all.
Inevitably, Amy and I will not have a topic next week anyway. So
yeah, there you go. Our topics were fine anyway.
There you go.
We didn't talk about Reese's peanut butter cups, and that's fine.
That's because we can't, or we will fucking fight, Sarah. I'm okay. I'm not gonna get into the Reese's fight.
Yeah, you don't want to fight with me.
I really don't. You will cut me. So yes, Andy, thank you. I talk to you every day. Andy sends me like daily affirmations that are just delightful. Like, just sends me these written out, like, here is why you are amazing, and everybody should have that. Andy's so great. I love Andy.
I only know Andy through the Facebook group, the Secular Soup Facebook group, and already just there, he seems so great.
Oh yeah, Andy lives in my town. We've hung out several times. So
oh wow.
And Andy goes to Leslie's church, but is an atheist because Leslie is cool as fuck and knows atheists come to the church and is like, cool, I'm glad they come because we have this community. And so, yeah, Andy's kind of gotten into the church. And I first met Andy in our atheist group that I had started.
I mean, take some notes, you know,
and like, absolutely. I know, I'm just saying.
It's like, hey, evangelicals, have you tried like not being bigoted and like horrible? Then all the atheists will come to your churches if you're, you know,
atheists
not terrible.
Like community and being around people and
free food,
coffee and bars. Like if you're
music,
in Minnesota, bars. Exactly. So, okay, we've also got Yesh Medicine Bird, Natalie, Kimberly, Wendy, Nuggin, who is our good friend Rebecca. And did you come up with a random ass number for our friend Rich?
Fuck. It was 3,800,000, 12.
Yeah, that one. That is your rank, Rich. Fuck you.
Wait, is that a bad number?
Fuck you, Rich. Oh, the higher the worse, yes.
Oh.
The lower the number, the better. Because what Rich wants is to be the most favorite Rich, the number one Rich. He will never be that.
Oh no, I don't know 3,800,000 riches.
No, see, Rich wants to be the favorite Rich, but he won't be because Rich Lyons is our favorite Rich, which makes other Rich second favorite Rich, unless we don't feel like it. And then we just keep bumping those numbers up. So
I don't know Rich Lyons. And
don't.
I don't know.
But he used to edit for free, and that's why he's our favorite. So.
I mean, that's fair. But he didn't edit for me for free. So
other
he's
Rich
not my
never
favorite.
fucking edited for free for my show. So fuck you, Rich.
You know what?
So
even if he was my favorite Rich.
He's grumpy. He's a grumpy old man. And he's not even watching this. He's listening to it. So he does not see these middle fingers that I have raised.
Oh, sorry. Middle finger guns. Pew, 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 pew.
Thank you. Exactly. Because he is old and grumpy and doesn't know how to work the YouTube. So I'm just going to talk shit about him.
Work the YouTubes.
I'm old and grumpy. I don't know. This whole show, we should turn this into just making fun of Rich Hour. I feel like Sarah and I do enough of that behind the scenes, though.
I like our making fun of Rich chat group.
We have a fantastic chat group where we just make fun of Rich. And Rich loves it. He enjoys it. It's his only social outlet. So what are you going to do? Anyway, all right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us. Amy may or may not be back next week. I don't know. I might fire her and just have Sarah come on. Wait, I can't fire her. That's right. I'm not actually her boss.
Okay. Okay. I'll make a separate podcast with that Amy, and then we'll have like that Amy and Sarah and this Amy and Sarah.
There you go. I want to get Dell on board too. Pretty soon, Secular Soup is going to have like 17 co-hosts. It's just going to be a round table every week, and
we
nobody
really need
hear anything.
We need an ADHD podcast. Ooh. Dell has a D. We need one more D.
I'll just change somebody's name. How about that?
That's fair.
I have that power. I have been bestowed with the power to change people's names.
That's true. You changed my name when I asked you to Sarah with a name.
I did. Did you see my cool tattoo yet?
New patella.
Oh, let's see.
I want to see your elbow. I can't see your elbow. Is
my
it
elbow is terrible. There we go.
Yep. It looks so good.
It's my teeny little axe. I've been doing axe throwing every Monday night, so I get to go tomorrow. I'm so excited.
Us ADHD people are very violent sometimes.
We really are. And I was
like
a little concerned because I'm like, what if I get this axe tattooed on me? You know I'm going to get tired of axe throwing eventually.
That's okay. Make it just part of your identity. You know what?
Exactly. I'm like, it's a thing that represents a time in my life where I am into the axe throwing.
There you go.
Someday I can look at it and go, hey, I remember that. That was cool.
Like a scrapbook.
Yes, exactly. Only on my body. So... all right. Well, thank you for joining us. I'm going to see if I can find the outro and I will play that. So thank you, Sarah. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thanks to all of you motherfuckers who put up with the Amy's droning on week after week. If you enjoy their delightful bitchcraft, please follow them on all of the social medias and send them all of your money on Patreon or PayPal. You can find them on these platforms by using the Google machine. It's not hard. If you want to bitch with other fans about the show, join the Secret Soup Talk Facebook group. If you want to tell Amy and Amy to fuck off personally, you can send an email to secularsouppodcast@gmail.com, although it may go unanswered. Please rate and review the show on iTunes, Facebook, and wherever else you can review things like this. It will help spread the soup gospel far and wide. And hey, text someone right now. Tell your friends. As always, we'll leave you with the vocal stylings of Mr. Eli Bosnick.
Secular soup creed. Soup is the ultimate virtue. It's delicious, nutritious, patriarchy smashing, racism fighting, warm and fuzzy, human affirming, fun having, anti-theist, glitter throwing, tummy satisfying, pair of new shoes fulfilling, diversity seeking, happiness. Minestrone, beef and barley, chicken broth and split pea, gazpacho, tomato, clam chowder and potato, chicken noodle, beef noodle, egg drop and ramen cup, miso, gumbo, leek and pho. Grab a bowl and taste the magic. Slurp even this.